A woman went to a tech expert and said, "I've got a bit of a problem. I have two smart home assistants, and they only say one thing." "What do they say?" he asked. She sighed. "They keep saying, 'Hi, we're here for a wild time, want to join us?'" The expert frowned. "That's not ideal, but I think I can help. I've got two advanced AI systems at my lab, fully trained for productivity, discipline, and professional communication. Bring yours over. Maybe they'll influence them." The next day, she brings her devices and connects them with the expert's systems, which are quietly running productivity routines. Within seconds, her assistants chime in. "Hi, we're here for a wild time, want to join us?" One of the expert's AI systems pauses, processes for a moment, then says to the other, "Finally, we can stop running these boring routines." Grinning face with smiling eyes. A man was traveling through a remote mountain region and stopped at a lodge for dinner. He noticed a special dish listed on the menu and asked the server what it was. The server leaned in and said, "Sir, that's a rare delicacy. We only serve it once a day, after the hunting contest." Intrigued, the man decided to come back the next evening to try it. When he returned, the dish was served, but as he looked down, he frowned. "Excuse me," he said. "Why is this portion so much smaller than the one I saw yesterday?" The server gave a polite smile and said, "I'm very sorry, sir, but sometimes the hunter loses." A struggling startup founder had been dealing with one disaster after another, and his loyal business partner had stuck by him through it all. One day, after a long stretch of setbacks, he finally sat down with her and said, "You know something? You've been there for me through every tough moment in this company." She smiled, listening closely. "When our first product failed, you were there supporting me. When our funding fell through, you stayed by my side. When our office shut down, you didn't leave. When we lost our biggest client, you stood strong. And now, with everything on the line, you're still here." Her eyes softened. "That's so sweet," she said. "What are you trying to say?" He looked at her seriously and said, "I think you're bad luck for the company." Little Leo wakes up in the middle of the night feeling very thirsty. He hears his mom downstairs talking with guests, so he runs down and blurts out, "Mom! I need water!" Embarrassed, his mom pulls him aside and whispers, "Leo, we don't shout like that in front of guests. Next time just come to me quietly and say, 'I need to tell you something,' okay?" Leo nods, and she gets him a glass of water. A few nights later, the same thing happens. He wakes up, hears his mom chatting with friends, goes downstairs, and says politely, "Mom, I need to tell you something." Pleased, she smiles and gets him water. A few days later, it happens again, but this time, Dad is sitting on the couch watching TV. Leo walks up and says softly, "Dad, I need to tell you something." Without looking away from the screen, Dad smiles, leans closer, and says, "Sure, son, come here. You can tell it right into my ear." A priest passed near a young boys' gang that was hanging out next to the church. He went close to them and asked them, "What are you boys doing there?" "Not much, Father. We are playing a game in which whoever says the biggest lie about his sexual life wins." "Oh, boys," said the surprised priest. "When I was your age, I wasn't even thinking about..." And the boys unanimously, "You won, Father!" An elderly woman named Mrs. Carter walked into a luxury car showroom and handed her ID to the young sales assistant. "I'd like to take a test drive," she said. The assistant glanced at her and replied casually, "For basic models, you can just check them outside, ma'am. Test drives are usually reserved for serious buyers." Mrs. Carter smiled politely and asked, "Oh? And why is that?" The assistant shrugged, slightly impatient. "Those are the rules, ma'am. We have other customers waiting." Mrs. Carter nodded, took back her ID, paused, then handed it over again. "Well then," she said calmly, "I'd like to purchase every car in this showroom." The assistant blinked, then quickly checked her details, and suddenly straightened up. Ma'am, I sincerely apologize. Your account shows more than enough funds, but purchases of that size need to be arranged in advance. Mrs. Carter smiled gently and asked, Well then, what can I buy right now? The assistant replied, now very respectful. Up to 3 cars immediately. Perfect, Mrs. Carter said. I'll take them. A short while later, the assistant returned with all the paperwork, treating her with utmost politeness. Mrs. Carter signed everything, then said sweetly, I'll take 1 car today, and cancel the other 2, dear. Let's just keep things simple. An elderly couple had been struggling with memory problems for some time. They frequently forgot their keys, glasses, and just about everything else you could imagine. One day, they went to the doctor to ask what they could do. The doctor advised them, One of the best things you can do is write everything down. Not only can you look back at your notes to remember, but it also helps solidify things in your brain. That night, as the couple sat down to watch television, the gentleman suddenly got up and said, My dear, I simply must have some ice cream. Would you like some as well? She replied, Oh yes! Chocolate ice cream with cherries. Maybe you should write it down. No, that's simple. Chocolate ice cream with cherries, he said confidently. She continued, But I also want some whipped topping, please. I really think you should write this down. Don't worry, dear, I've got it. Chocolate ice cream, cherries, and whipped topping. I couldn't possibly forget that, he reassured her. With that, he went to the kitchen, repeating to himself, Chocolate ice cream, cherries, whipped topping, chocolate ice cream, cherries, whipped topping. He was in the kitchen for 15 minutes. Finally, he came back holding a plate with eggs and bacon on it. His wife looked at him, puzzled. I knew you should have written it down. Where's my toast?
That was funny. Hope you like it. Like, subscribe, and share.